Hi guys, Darth Deuces here, back on the Star Wars The Black Series action figure review. Today, taking a look at some pretty brand new releases. I was able to get my hands on pretty much the last Star Wars Black Series figures I was hoping to get before the end of the year. And for this video, we'll be taking a look at the new Star Wars The Black Series Darth Maul as he appeared in the Clone Wars. And yeah, very excited for this figure's release. I know a lot of people have, I'm sure, highly anticipated this version of Darth Maul being released in the Black Series. It's a figure that I've wanted to make for a while. Last year we got the Vintage Collection version of this look, and now we have the Black Series one. I usually don't show packaging for Black Series, but I actually ended up getting two of this guy. I have one loose, and I just got this one mint in the box. Kind of by accident, I ordered this one and a few others of the wave online. They've got shipped but delayed, and I ended up going to a local GameStop and they had Darth Maul on the shelf, and I just couldn't resist getting it on the spot. So I picked them up then, and then this one came in, and the box is in pretty good shape. So I'm going to keep this one in the packaging because I actually don't have any of this version of packaging mint in the box, and these are about to be phased out. So it'd be kind of cool to have at least one of these figures mint on card to kind of have this version of the box, the packaging, the last of the plastic packaging, and just a cool character to have on the mint on the card anyways, or in the box. But yeah, I just have him there in the box. Got the yellow coloring for the Clone Wars Darth Maul figure in the box. Pretty cool image of Maul within part of that mural, and you got the Mandalore throne room in the background there, which is pretty cool. And you got that same image, and you just have a pretty basic right up there. But that's pretty much all there is to the figure in the box. So we will now take a look at the figure itself here, which I have. I'm just going to straighten them out. Right here. And this is a really solid release. It's pretty much what I expected. I'm very happy with it. Easily the best Darth Maul in the Black Series line. I will do some comparisons. I do have, I want to say all the Darth Maul releases that they've done in the Black Series. Maybe there's a version or two I'm missing. I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure I have all the main versions that they've released. And this is by far the best version. All the others have had some weird flaws in some way, but they got this one definitely pretty much right. Some minor nitpicks here and there, but we'll talk about that. First off, with the head sculpt. From pictures, I wasn't sure how much I was going to like this because they sculpt them with this kind of grimace, sneer kind of expression. And I'm always down for having more expressions on figures than just the stoic look. And I will say, in person, I think it looks a lot better. Maybe it's just me thinking those look weird in images online, but I think it looks a lot better in person. And yeah, this looks really good. I love the sculpt, the paint, the tattoos are all painted on there really nicely. The teeth are printed on there really well. The eyes, Sith eyes, are printed on very nicely as well. The horns are painted well, and they're decently sharp without being too crazy. And they are fairly soft, so they won't snap off or anything, which is very good. One thing that I don't think is coming off on camera too well, but that you'll definitely notice in person, is unfortunately the red on his face is not the same color red as that's on his torso. You can't see a whole lot of his torso, to be fair, but yeah, the red on the torso is lighter than on the face. I assume the face is painted and then the torso might be plastic and then painted over with black. I'm not sure. But yeah, from a distance, it's not too noticeable, and it still doesn't bother me that much, but it is kind of annoying. This is the second time they've done this. In some way, the Sith Apprentice, Darth Maul from that first wave of publishing like comic figures, had a similar issue. But yeah, still looks really good. He's in that Clone Wars look. He's got the tunic, which looks really nice. Got the shoulder pads here, which are like the Stormtrooper shoulder pads. They have the ring that's sandwiched between the joints, so they'll move with the shoulder, which is great. The belt's nice, has multiple little paint apps that look pretty good. All the paint, the silver paint on his gauntlets there, look really nice. The continuation of that silver is all pretty cleanly painted on the belt there. The tunic is kind of like an overlay on top of the torso sculpt, but it does have a decent amount of flexibility to allow for movement. Pants look good, and the mechanical legs look really nice. You've got molded in a gray with a or dark silver with a dark like shiny gunmetal for some nice details that look really good. So it's not like too much to talk about. It's not like a crazy involved design, but yeah, definitely looks the part. Looks really great. Very happy with how this looks. In terms of articulation, he's very well articulated. You've got a dumbbell joint in the neck as well as the base of the neck, so you can look down quite a bit. Looks up a decent amount. Pivots quite a bit in rotation. Ball hinges at these shoulders, which rotate all the way. They go pretty far out. There is a butterfly joint in there, but it doesn't get a whole lot of movement. It's better than some figures I've seen. I think they've started to improve on these a bit. For some reason, mine butterfly joint on the right's a lot more seized up than the one on the left for some reason, but it does move once you get it going. Single hinges in the elbows move a bit past 90, and they have swivels at the wrist as well as up and down hinges, which is great. All the previous Maul, the Sith Apprentice one, had I believe up in and out for both his wrists, so it's really good that both of these wrists go up and down. It's the wrist joints that you should have being a lightsaber wielder. There's a torso joint you can rotate. You can also crunch a bit and go back a bit. It's not too crazy because of the overlay. It does do some limitations there. Hip joints, they move, kick all the way out. The front of the tunic will get out of the way. Hips move out pretty far. Sole cut at the thigh. Single hinge at the knee goes 90. And then hinge at the ankle goes up, goes down, has kind of this click to it, and then pivot. So pretty good articulation. You can definitely get this guy in a lot of really great poses. In terms of accessories, he doesn't come with much. He does come with his double-bladed lightsaber that he had in the final season of the Clone Wars, which looks really good. The paint on is nice. You got this dark silver on his original half. You've got a lighter silver on the new half, some black paint up, some red for the buttons. Both the blades look good. Yeah, he holds it pretty well in his hand. You can get him holding it in two hands, no problem. So there you go. That kind of fell out, but he holds it well. It does split in two, so I guess if you wanted to, he could dual wield, although he never does that in the show. But if you wanted to have an earlier season, like a season 5 Darth Maul, you could just use this half and just have him with the single blade, which is actually how I might display mine, because I already have the Vintage Collection one with the double blade, so I might do the single blade. There's also a peg on the hilt, this side of the hilt, so if you want to, you could remove, or can remove the blades. I guess I'll do it real quick. You can remove the blades, and there's a hole on his belt there, so you can peg it on there, but the peg in isn't very secure. I don't know why. It doesn't peg in very securely, and it's kind of awkward on there, I'll be honest. I mean, it's nice that it's an included feature, but I'll literally never display them like that. It's also really loose. Like, I just wouldn't display it like that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. There's not a whole lot else to say. It's a really, really solid Darth Maul. But before we end off here, we'll do some comparisons. I guess first off, with his Vintage Collection counterpart, here's the Vintage Collection. You can see how they look together, pretty similar. The Vintage Collection one, the tattoos on the torso are a little messier. I do actually like the Black Series head sculpt a bit more. I thought I'd prefer the Vintage Collection one. It's still really good, but I think the Black Series one is better. Black Series one does have a bit better articulation. This Darth Maul got made just before they started doing the newer hip joints, so he still has the old hinged hips, which I do not like that much. So this one's definitely a lot funner to pose around and do stuff with. What's kind of interesting is that the Vintage Collection has like this gray wash over the black tunic, and then the Black Series one doesn't have that. I thought that's pretty cool. The Vintage Collection one has that. It's kind of weird they didn't put that on the Black Series, but it's a small thing. It doesn't bother me that much. Overall, I do prefer the Black Series one just a little bit better, but I like both a lot. Then with the last Black Series, or I think the last Black Series Darth Maul release, here's the Sith Apprentice one without the shirt on. These look pretty good together. I still like this figure. I think the head sculpt and print's pretty good on it, but he had the same issue where the red on the face and the torso didn't match the red on the arms, which is kind of annoying. So it's not the first time they've done something like that. And then lastly, the original Darth Maul from the first wave of Black Series way back in 2013. This one is the archive, so it has the face print. You see how they look good, and you just see how far we've come with the Black Series. The Phantom Menace one has just aged extremely poorly. The face just doesn't look that good anymore. The articulation isn't that good. The legs on this suck. Yeah, this thing, if they they should really do a completely ground up new Phantom Menace Darth Maul. I think that'd be super cool. Because this new old one is just not good. It's just not good. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Overall, I think if you collect the Black Series, I think this is pretty much a must get. It's definitely a must get if you're a fan of the Clone Wars and a fan of Darth Maul. Definitely gotta get this one. Don't miss out. Anyways, that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know anything down in the comments below, and I'll see you all next one. May the Force be with you.